All right. Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 227 of the On Air Advocate. Where at the On Air Advocate, we look to provide education, support, and empowerment for all of those with different abilities, mental and medical illnesses, and their caregivers. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Tammy Flynn, and I am the host and producer of the On Air Advocate, and I am super excited if you guys are here this morning joining us, or whether you are catching this on the replay. Now, as always, if you think any of the content we're talking about today could be relevant for your network or your circle, please hit the share button and share the love with others. Well, if you guys have been following us on Facebook, you guys know that we have been spotlighting Craniofacial Acceptance Month. And I am so excited to have for the first time here today, Erica Mossholder. She is the Executive Director of the Children's Craniofacial Association. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to join you.
Yes, I'm super excited for you to be here and share with everybody. And you haven't been here before. And so before we dive into everything for Craniofacial Acceptance Month and what is that all about and what is the association about, I'd love for you to give people a little bit of your background and kind of what, I guess, drove you to CCA.
Absolutely. CCA is my passion. It is something that I love to talk about. And it's really born out of my experience being a person with a facial difference. And so I was born with an undiagnosed craniofacial condition. And it wasn't even really apparent to my mom until I was, almost a year old. And she noticed I had some soft tissue bumps, as she called them, just in my mouth. And then as I got a little older, they, really impacted me learning to brush my teeth and talking and things like that. So she just went to the dentist, the oral surgeon. It started a real trend of us looking for a provider. And I'm going to fast forward a lot of years because that's how I found CCA. Is I was in my 20s and I was still looking for someone that knew how to treat this odd, grouping of symptoms that I had no syndrome. And I met a board member of CCA, and instantly he said the word craniofacial. He said, "Do you have a craniofacial syndrome?" And he said it with no judgment, with interest and warmth. And I was like, wait, what is that word that you said? Because I've heard people say, did you just have dental work done? Or what's wrong with your face? And those were kind of those questions that stung. And he, for the first time, said something, A, the information that I needed, and B, said it in a way that felt warm and welcoming. And from there, he connected me with the organization, and the amazing staff at CCA helped me find a doctor that would, first of all, just take my case via email, which was unbelievable. And that's how I found the doctor that then treated me as a whole person, and all of my what seemed like random symptoms to other providers who weren't as well informed about craniofacial syndromes. But that is how I found CCA. And why I stayed is just because of the network. I've never met such a invested group of folks that really wanted to see me get the help I needed, but they treat everyone that way. And so now, as a staff member and the executive director myself, that's the most important thing we do, is when someone reaches out, I know how they feel. They've been searching, they're worried, they're scared, and they're tired. And we're like, I think we have resources for you. So that's kind of how I found CCA and why I'm so passionate that I want to make it my life's work.
I love it. And have you, from that point when you met that doctor via email and as the years have went on, has your undiagnosed kind of craniofacial syndrome, has it been diagnosed? Do you know a category it falls under now? Were you able to dive a little deeper into that?
So I did go through a lot of genetic testing, which I had done previously before, but I still don't have what they consider a syndrome or a diagnosis. And I think that encapsulates a lot of people that find CCA. I just have some spontaneous mutations and things like that don't make up a syndrome, but they still need to be addressed. And so we're able to help folks that have diagnoses, and we're also able to help people that are like me, which again, I think gives me like a real sense of belonging, because I don't have that syndrome where I can look it up and I'm like, oh, there's this many people in the world with it. CCA is like whatever your facial difference, even if it came through trauma, or surviving like a burn, you are still a part of us because you wear on your face something that's a little different.
Oh my gosh. What a story that led you there. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to find your doctor and to be able to find those answers, I think that's wonderful. And now, when I was reading about the Children's Craniofacial Association, there is so many different layers to it. You know what I'm saying? From like that, just that support end to giving some resources to finding doctors to emotional, mental health, all of that. So can you kind of break down kind of into little boxes the different areas that you guys cover? Whether someone's reaching out to you via email, the phone, or if there's different ones if you live in the area versus outside of the area.
Sure. I like to break them down into three big things that we focus on. Number one, we focus on finding and getting care for families. And a lot of times that's direction to qualified centers, which we've even partnered with the ACPA, American Cleft Palate Craniofacial Association. So all of their providers are team providers. They work with several different disciplines and they all work together to provide care. So that's the first step is finding the help that you need and then being able to access it, which is why we offer financial assistance for medical travel.
Okay.
So if you're not where the doctor you need to see is located, we can help you get there. So that's number one. And then number two, which we put a lot of things in this bucket, is social and emotional support. The whole family, siblings, grandparents, parents, everyone, including the affected individual, need a support network. And so we try to accomplish that networking in a lot of different ways. It's been all virtual in 2020, but normally we have regional gatherings. We have a big annual gathering with over 600 people every summer. And so that connection will make all the difference in you or your child's life. That is one thing that it's so important to get the necessary care, but then you've got to set yourself up to thrive on this journey. And then the third area that we really focus on is we want to tell the world that we're more alike than different. Just about everybody struggles with self-esteem, self-love. There's that lack of that. There's this criticism of ourselves that we have all internalized. And so our big initiative is our Choose Kind outreach. And that is, it's educational resources, it's speakers, it's curriculum that we provide free of charge to schools to help them not only help students with facial differences, but every single student in the school to understand and access the self-acceptance and to prevent bullying, which is just a huge problem that our kids are facing. And they need tools to be able to stand up to bullies and be upstanders for kindness.
Yes, and next month actually is Bullying Prevention and Awareness Month. And I know some different people in your network that very much talk about that. Pete's Diary is some of my favorites. They have so many good tools and stuff for schools and anti-bullying really resources that are out there. Now, during this year of 2020, which has been a different year, hasn't it, for everyone, how have you guys done it? How have you changed? Have you guys pivoted at all in changing resources the way that you used to offer them? Have you guys started offering different things that you didn't offer before? I know it's a different space for everybody to be in. And so has there been any changes for you guys?
Definitely. It's been really hard because our kids and adults, quite frankly, we wait all year for this annual event that we do. And that's sometimes the only time we get to see somebody that looks like us. So there's so much hype and build up for the retreat each June. And then to have to cancel that and say this thing we've been literally counting when it ends, 364 days to go, was a devastating blow in the midst of all of this other stress and anxiety. Because this is our support network. This is our prom. This is our dance. This is our graduation. It's that much emotion built into one weekend. So that was incredibly difficult and scary. But this is what I think is a true silver lining for CCA with COVID is we've always wanted to make these support networks more accessible to people that couldn't travel every year. So we finally, put our time and energy into doing virtual support meetings, which we had done a little bit of monthly for adults, but we really made them bigger and I think better. And it opened up our world. So now we plan to keep offering a lot of online virtual support groups for the rest of CCA. There were so many new people that found us. Still to this day, more people are reaching out. Our numbers in our adult monthly program have grown and the demographic has changed. And we're even partnering with another organization, Connect Med, to offer this family style meetup once a month where parents actually are able to meet with a counselor and talk while their kids are doing in a breakout room, same Zoom, everything's going on, an art therapy activity or a gratitude activity. And so we were able to pivot and partner and just expand on these things that we knew worked, but it was the time to do it because we had nothing else to focus on.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is wonderful. And what a needed resource right now, especially when we talk about that emotional component and getting online, some mental health and support groups and whatnot. So important. Now, if there is, so there's support groups that you're saying that they can access. How do they access these things? So I know you said your headquarters are in Texas. So if I'm in Texas and I feel like I need to connect with you guys, what are the avenues that I can connect with if I'm right there and I'm local that might be a little bit different that if I'm in, you said Alabama or Wisconsin or Florida and want to connect?
Sure. Well, we have an office in Texas and we always welcome people to drop by. The cool thing about CCA is we are mostly nationwide. So definitely we have a big group in Texas where we do a big picnic in September. So that would be what would be different. If you're there, you're going to get our biggest events, our highest attendance activities that we do in these normal times where we have the gatherings. But anyone, even international, a lot of times on our support groups, we have folks internationally that join us. Right now, you can email the office or you can go onto our Facebook page. Right now, that's been really, really effective and active for us. But for people who are not on Facebook, just shoot us an email and we'll get you on our email distribution list. And we announce with plenty of time to sign up all of the new support groups that we're having, all of the standing ones, and you just get on our list and we'll remind you usually the week before that we have one coming up next week, and you can just sign up. We've been really diligent about asking folks to sign up for those just to keep them a little bit more safe and secure in this new virtual life we live. But as long as you sign up, you'll get the Zoom login and you'll have everything you need to join us. But yeah, it's been really great because we've always served nationwide, and now I feel like we're fulfilling that part of our mission more than ever.
And would they be going, is it ccakids.com?
Yes, so both work. You can do ccakids.com or .org. We have both of those domains, and yes, ccakids.org.
And so their best bet is that if they want to know about any of the classes, workshops, events coming up, is to hop on there and sign up for the email list, because a lot of those things are done on more of that personal level than them just like pasted on your Facebook page.
Yes. I think that's the best. Like, sign up for our emails because then they will come to you. And again, we want people to know what's going on, but we also like to keep it as safe and secure as possible. So we want you to be in the list, in the know, to really get those invitations.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Erica. And before we log off today, if you are a parent that is going, through this and been in this search, if you are a child or a young adult, is there any words of advice that you would give before we depart for the day?
Absolutely. To all of the new parents or parents that are just finding this, you definitely want to connect, and your level of connection is totally up to you, but make sure that's an option for your child. We have so many adults that join us, in their 20s and 30s, and they're like, I wish I would have known. I don't know what I would have done or how I would have used it. I just wish I would have known there was a group out there of people like me. So if you're a parent, go ahead, sign up. Even if you're just passively watching the emails come in, that moment when your child is like, hey, I feel like I'm the only one, you'll have all this information. And honestly, you as a parent can really find friends that get it. on a different level. So there's definitely resources for parents and grandparents and siblings as well. There's a big group of siblings who know what it's like to be a secondary caretaker, and definitely their fiercest defender of their brother or sister. So make friends, make connections. It's always good, even if they're just acquaintances. When times get tough or when times are great and you want to share a personal triumph, the CCA community is that sounding board and that cheerleading squad that just is there for you. So connect early, stay connected, and just know you can come and go. We're not, we are a group that a lot of people come in these hard ages. So newborn, you need information. And then, preteen years, it gets hard again. Reconnect. You may have been fine when you were in elementary school, but those hard ages, and then again, when you're a young adult, come back and talk, because there are so many people going through these same things. So I think that's my biggest advice, is just get connected and then choose at what level you use our services. Take what you need and leave the rest, to quote a slogan. But that's what I encourage everyone to do. And then just realize that you're not alone. That there are so many people, including people that are not in the craniofacial community, that feel these feelings. And the more we talk about them, the more we're able to take that negative charge out of these feelings of isolation and, being alone and being different.
And I just absolutely love, Erica, all that you guys are doing, definitely making a difference, and bringing together community and support for everyone. So I thank you so much for spending this morning with us and sharing with us the Craniofacial Association for our Spotlight series. And with that, if you guys want to know any more about the On Air Advocate, you guys can just head on over to onairadvocate.com and you'll find all of our resources right there. Or if you want to join our private community, you can head up to the top of this Facebook page, hit the blue button, and that will let you in. So on that, thanks again, Erica. I really appreciate it. Everybody have a Friday. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.